Hayo and welcome to Planet Plipcam. In today's video we are going to be reviewing Magic World by Joseph Tolen, who can be found on most of the Planet Coaster Console Facebook groups. So without further ado, let's jump into the review. So we're starting off straight away at the entrance, as obviously you always should, and straight away, just first impressions, I'm just going to jump straight away into this kind of review. I'm just noticing add some fences along these paths, and I think these trees are blocking the sightline of what is an absolutely beautiful building behind these trees. So just look at this building here, really nice, really nicely decorated with all of the clocks and the trim work. There is quite a good variation of flowers there also. You've got a staff room under this building. Now this is quite a big park, so I'm trying to go through this as quick as I can, otherwise my computer nearly blows up trying to edit it all. Other things that I noticed when I was recording the cinematics and everything was the rocks placed down. That's really good detail there, just to add some realism to the edges of the paths, and I think if you just added some more fences elsewhere in the park so far, I think it will really improve it. I really like how you've got all of these flowers here, nice variation, just sealing off the edge of that ride, and you've got the big chair swings up there, and the queue is quite simple, just around the edge of the flat ride, the footprint there, but yeah, that works quite well. And then you've got all this topiary and the foliage here. Now again, I would make this into a plaza and just use all of the flat roof tiles there. And here you got some more point of sales, and it looks like this person's just won a plushie toy, so they're quite excited. We're going to move on, and we're going to go around to the right. As I say, I think just make this into more of a plaza area and block off the patches of grass so it all looks like one slab of concrete or tiling. Then we come across these blueprint buildings. I did have a look whilst I was recording this if they were custom built, as they're very impressive, but these are provided by Frontier, and that's well done for using what they have made there. We've got some more drink shops here, the Street Fox Coffee, and yeah, elsewhere you can see a ride to the right that we'll look at last in this video, but definitely my favourite ride in this park. And then really you can see around this area, which is really the main attraction, kind of the focal point, the weenie in the park, it is the big Ferris wheel, and it is really beautiful with all of the kind of Mickey Mouse branding to it, so that's a really nice touch there. So you've got some more, I think, blueprints there. I don't want to judge if they are or not, because that's horrible to say that your work is a blueprint if it is not. We've got the Teacups ride here. We've been around this area a little bit, but you can see Teacups there. We're not going to ride all of the basic flat rides if they are not like themed to anything other than normal theme park theme. So that is that. Just again, fill in some of those grassy patches. That will really improve the park, I think. And then just look at that angle. You have done such a brilliant job of blocking out the view of the other coasters with this big Ferris wheel. And we will take a ride on it later on in the video. We've got another path through here, and you can see the train track runs around these kind of forest. It's nice how you've blocked it off with some foliage. Really well done there. Obviously hits up on that counter, but I do think it's worth it to add some foliage in there. Another nicely themed carousel there, just quite vintage rides so far, as you've seen, a really nice fairy tale style. And then I do think that this building, I do think that this is custom. Just looking at some of the pieces on top, it does look custom, so well done with that one. It's really nicely trimmed with all of the stone pieces. I do think that is custom built. And then just panning across, you can see the big Ferris wheel here. A really good look at it here. It really blends in well with the sky, and it's got all of the different colours, and as you'll see later, it is actually lit up at night. Now I'm trying to find the queue line here, and we go in the cheat way, but we're in. And yeah, it is a cattle pen, which is pretty realistic for most parks, and you do have really nice tree coverage as well, as obviously you need some shade in your queue. And you can see that I'd definitely be jumping on this ride if I visited this park. So we're jumping out of Plipcam now, and we are going to take a ride on this Ferris wheel. So you can see just before we go in, I'm going to try and show you how this has been built. You can obviously see the art shapes here I would suspect that these have been advanced moved around and then just moved around just to make that Mickey face. So that's really nice to cover that over. And if I'm right in thinking, I'm not too clued up, as you know if you watch the channel, on my theme parks, all the history and the stats, but I think in America they have a Ferris wheel just like that with the Mickey emblem on there. I think it's near the Incredicoaster in Disneyland in America, but I'm not too sure, so don't take my word for it. So here's your ride on the Ferris wheel. I always thought this is kind of a weird ride, especially when you're so high. It really does look quite scary, but yeah, we'll take some cinematics here, as you can see. And that was the Star Wheel. It is a really big footprint, that one, and obviously you need a lot of space in your park, but it's been implemented really nicely. So just bear with me as I go back into Plipcam, and then next up we're going to be taking a look at, I think, the first coaster in this video, so really excited for that. So we go into Plipcam, down into the street view, how a park is meant to be looked at, and then you can see some more of the buildings here. Now I would suspect that this is custom again, so well done on that building there. And then again, just I think just add some safety to your park just to make it a little bit more realistic with some of the grassy patches, add some fences into there. And then you've got really nice sight lines of all of the different flat rides around the park. From this area you can see two, one to your left, one to your right, and two really imposing flat rides. You may know, if you watch the channel, I've mentioned before that I'm not too keen on the really tall ones, as they're really difficult to theme when they're so high, but these do work quite well because they do blend in with the big Star Wheel, and yeah, that Ferris wheel does work really well with it there, so it's nice to have some taller ones. I never usually use them in my parks. Again, just on these blueprints, when you're pathing them up, you need to just add some concrete, some of the flat roofing, just so it's feasible that you could get to the doors. There's no good pathing not going to the doors, so that's just something to consider there. And then we're going to move on to the next queue line for the next coaster, and you can see that this is quite coolly skinned with some of these different pieces, skinning all the toilets. That's well done there. And you can see you've got this T-Junction, and we're going to head around to the left, and I did make the mistake of going through the exit first, so we're going to scoot around into the real queue line. And one thing you can notice from here is that the build for the actual station is quite plain, but just trim that up and I think it would be really nice. So we now head into the first POV of this wooden coaster. This is the Rosewood Runner, and if I'm right in thinking, come on, yeah, I show the stats, there you go, and G-forces are all good. The excitement, I think, as you'll see in this ride, there are not too many airtime counts, but we'll see about that when you ride this POV. So I'm going to let you ride this in silence, or maybe you have the ambient music, the mechanic's sorting it out for us, and I hope you enjoy this wooden coaster POV. So I hope you enjoyed your POV of the Rosewood Runner. I'm not too sure about that coaster, why the excitement rating isn't too high. Maybe some of the air times just there need to, they're quite drawn out. Maybe just shorten them and get some more air time into there. I'm not a coaster expert, so I can't really comment too much, but that would be my reckoning. So you can see we've just headed into nighttime, and you can just see the lighting that's been added to this Ferris wheel and all around the park really. I think its display sequence balanced on that wheel, and then you've got all of the nice lampposts and a really realistic kind of lighting. I'm not too keen when it's all ambient, kind of really bright lighting, but yeah, that looks really good. And then just touching on the station building again, I would definitely recommend putting some trim work on there, or maybe a ride sign saying Rosewood Runner, and again just in the roof, just watch your clipping there and just trim it all off, and I think that would look really nice. But all in all, a really nice coaster, really nice and smooth, and yeah, I really enjoyed that coaster ride. So there's your look. You can see the people going over the crest of the lift hill, and we're going to head into the next section of the park. So here you can see the biggest coaster in the park, this kind of area, and again you've got the paths onto some vending spaces and the shops there. A really nice queue here, really nicely built up, and the statues work quite well, I think. I'm not too sure what the kind of theme is. Maybe it's kind of Greek, ancient Greece, but I do think this is another custom building, and it works really well how you've just blocked off the station just with the railings there, and that has worked really well. So here's a look at night. The station looks really good. Maybe you could have a bit more lighting in the actual area. You also have done really well with the terrain work there. The terrain paint is very realistic, as there's not too much growing grass. You do need a few bushes and shrubberies under the supports, but apart from that, so we've got Gucci A Go Go. This is the difference between this and the wooden coaster. You have much better results here. Max vertical G-force 6.49 Gs, maybe just a tad too high, but you have kept the lateral down just below what really is acceptable, so that's good. And 82 seconds of duration, so I'm going to let you ride this ride, so I hope that you enjoy it. So that was Gucci A Go Go, and I did really like that coaster, and definitely did really work well with that launch coaster, and it was quite smooth in some places. Something to comment on was I'm not sure how realistic it was with some of the launches going very high, but obviously I'm not an expert. But what we are going to do is go into another POV. We're going to go into the interest view and have a good look at this coaster. So I hope that you enjoy this cinematic of the coaster for a second time. So I hope you enjoyed your ride there on Gucci Go for the second time. It was a really nice coaster, and launch coasters are my favourite as I'm so bored of lift hills, and unless they're wooden, I do get bored of lift hills sometimes in the game, and obviously in real life too. But what I would say with this sundial next to it, just theme it to the coaster style. Obviously you've kept it as the base colours, I believe, of the sundial. Obviously I use this in my Eiffel Tower build, and I think colouring it's well coloured. When you it's got good, what I mean it's got good variations of how you can colour it. So you've got different options, 4-way colourway I think. So yeah, just colour that to the theme. And then you've got this Mahusiv Hotel, huge hotel which all these guests are going into. A nice plaza there, and then obviously all of the building here. I'm not too sure if this is custom, I would imagine so, but really nice balconies there, and all the trees are uniform, so a good job there. I do think it could be integrated a little bit better, like with less trees maybe, so you could see it a bit more, but on the whole that is a really nice little hotel. And then we come on to the last ride. Now obviously you can see here the lovely coaster station building, and this has been done really well, all with the different kind of beams all around the coaster. This is the top coaster in the park, and it's surrounded by, I think, blueprint buildings, most of them. Some of them may not be, and as you've seen around here, some of these really detailed ones which fit in quite nicely, and definitely a higher budget area to the park. That vendor down to the left that you just saw, I think could be skinned a bit better, but we head round the queue line. We're not in Plipcam at the moment, we're just going to run around, and you've got really nice theming around this queue line. I think these lighting fixtures work really well here. Maybe for realism you are a bit close to the coaster train there, but that can be amended with some fences easily. And then here we go, so it's Mountain Expedition, it's a mine train canyon runner, and here we go. The tests obviously for this aren't going to be too high, and let's just have a quick look at the tests before we leave the station. And yeah, let's have a look. So results, the G-forces are all good, 18 miles per hour and 57.69 seconds, track length 453 meters. So enjoy your ride on this Canyon Runner coaster, and I do hope you enjoy it. I certainly did when I watched it. What an awesome runaway mine train ride that was. That was such a cool ride. Well done for that, and really nicely themed with all of the wooden beams, custom all the way around, so very well done with that. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this park review. You've got the train that runs all the way around the park, which is really nice, and you're just seeing the last few glimpses of the park. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like it, and if you are new, please do not hesitate to subscribe for more Planet Coaster console content, series, reviews, different contest entries. We do it all here, including tutorials, and I'd love to have you on my YouTube journey. So thank you very much for watching, and I do hope that you have enjoyed watching this park review. Thanks very much to the creator, and I will see you next time.